Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Double Clutch Podcast. Kevin on the line here. I hope you're all feeling wonderful. I can tell you that I am. I am feeling great because I am COVID free. I went and I got a COVID test uh, last Saturday or something, on Saturday. That's why this might actually be out a little late. It might not be. It should be fine. But we had to go. Me and my wife had to go take a COVID test because one of her stupid fucking friends and the people that they live with all tested positive for COVID, and they were at our house like a week prior. So we had to go and get tested. I had to take off work because I wasn't allowed to work until I got my results back, and they came back negative, thank God, because I was going to be very furious if I would have ended up having fucking COVID because, not that I'm afraid of the disease. I'm more afraid of, like, my newborn getting it, me giving it to other people, because the week before that, we had people over helping putting in that fence. I got the fence put in. It's real nice. But I had people over. I had my buddy over. Her uncle was over. I had two of my buddies over. Her uncle was over. My cousin was over. So there I am, having to fucking give every one of them a call. Like I just tested fucking HIV positive, and I got to call all my past sexual partners. I had to call them and be like, hey, we got this test. We were in contact with this person, and you were in contact with us. Therefore, yada, yada, yada. Granted, everybody was outside except for my one buddy. He actually stayed the night because he helped me finish up some shit on the next day, on Sunday. So, fucking, yeah, that was a big deal. Thankfully, we don't have it. Nobody else has it, I don't believe. But yeah, it was a fun little test. It was super fucking weird. Like, you have to do the nose thing and everything, like the nasal swab, and they uh, they have you do it yourself. You do it yourself. They don't fucking come out and do it. I did it at a drive-through in a CVS. They give me all the stuff. They give me the fucking instructions on how to do it. And I stick it up my nose there, and you put it up there decently far, but it ain't touching your brain. And you spin it like 3 or 4 times, and then you hold it there for 15 seconds. And then you do it again on your other nostril. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't hurt, but it was so uncomfortable because my eyes were watering and, like, my nose started running afterwards. Oh, come on, already? We're doing this? We're doing this already now. Shut the fuck up. But after all that, but it wasn't that bad. It was, quick, 45 seconds of, uncomfortableness. And that was it. I got that, but then I had to wait. Fucking, like, it said, like, between 2 to 5 days or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, man, I can't be off work all goddamn week. And thankfully, I did get it back on that Tuesday, so I did get a couple days in. But it was still just a pain in the ass that really, really annoyed me because they could have figured that out sooner, I believe. Because I guess her friend lives with her grandma, and her grandma has had this cough and this cold for like 2 weeks and went and refused to get tested because, I don't know, thinks it's infringing on her rights or some shit, dumb bitch. But they all still came over, and then her boyfriend tested positive for it, then she tested positive for it. I mean, obviously she was going to fucking test positive for it also. I mean, they fuck each other. Why wouldn't she? But yeah, and I was pretty upset because not that we were on top of each other or anything. They were still in the house, and when we found out, we fucking scrubbed the fucking shit. Well, sprayed the couch with the Lysol and shit, and tried to clean up the best we could. But it was just a horseshit thing that had to happen, and they probably could have figured it out sooner. I'm not saying I'm being extra safe. I haven't stopped going and seeing my family and shit like that. We still have friends come over every now and then. My thing is, I assume that they're being safe outside of wherever. Like, I assume they're wearing their masks out in the store and, shit like that. not just going up to fucking people. But apparently I was wrong with this bitch. And that's just fucking infuriating. Because, I don't know, that's, like I said, I'm not super scared of it. I'm more scared of, like, my newborn getting it, me spreading it to, like, my dad, who is not in the worst of health anymore, but the guy had stage 4 cancer at one point, and, he doesn't go through chemo or anything like that anymore. He just does his regular scans, but, he's still probably susceptible to that shit. I mean, he's only in his 50s, but still, and it sucked because my dad was coming over that morning to carve pumpkins with my kids, and my wife had to basically push him out the door and be like, "Nah, this is what's going on." And he's like, "Well, shit, now I gotta go tell my stepmom, and because she's with my nan right now." And I'm like, "Fuck, dude, my nan's in her 70s." I'm like, if this bitch has handed out COVID to everybody, I'm gonna punch him. I'm gonna punch her in her face. I'll punch her and her boyfriend in the face. But so far, so good. We're all right. Nobody got any. We both got negative tests. Obviously we didn't test the kids because obviously it's not going to be possible. Well, maybe with the 4-year-old it might be, but he wouldn't like it. And then my youngest, my newborn, actually got a COVID test like 3 weeks ago because he had a stuffy nose, so they brought him in, they gave him the test, and he didn't like that at all. And he came back negative. That was another thing that made me mad. It's like we just pretty much got a clear, like an all clear pretty much, because the kid sneezes in my face regularly. So not like if he has it, I'm not going to have it. But then she comes along and fucks it all up. Fucking assholes. But we're all good. We're all good. We've literally told nobody to come hang out because I don't want any more of that risk. I already take enough risks just coming to work every day and working with all the motherfuckers I work with who don't wear masks or anything like that. Think it's like infringing on their rights or some shit. Something stupid. It's my right not to wear a mask. Okay, dick, it is your right, but you could just not be an asshole and make everybody else feel better. But hey, if you want to be a piece of shit, you go right ahead. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you're not wearing your mask. I'm wearing mine. Just don't get all close to me. Don't fucking cough in my face because I'll throat punch you. But yeah, that was my little experience I had over the last week. Pretty annoying. Just a little annoyance. But now I'm missing out on fucking a couple, days of pay now because I had to stay at home. And I don't know. My wife made me go to like Sam's Club to get a bunch of like food and shit, like stock up. Because I might be here for 2 weeks. We probably have it, you know what I mean? So that's how that went down. But we're good. Now we have a whole bunch of food that we really didn't need. But we got it. That's cool too, I guess. Be stocked up on stuff. But yeah, that was my experience with the COVID-19. And so far I'm clean. So I might actually go take another test just to make sure. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to. And plus we almost had to reschedule our fucking son's neurology appointment too, which was bullshit. We had this thing planned out for fucking weeks, and then all of a sudden, we gotta hope we come back clean. But we did. And all is well for now. I'm still mad, though, at them. I'm still mad at her friends. And I don't want any of her friends over. I don't want any of my friends over either. I don't want nobody over. Not only that, my one buddy that was over went to his grandparents' house the week afterwards, because we didn't find out till like over a week later. But he went to his grandparents' house, and I was like, fucking Christ, my wife felt like shit. I was mean about it too. I was like, you should constantly have your fucking friends over, but it is what it is, I guess. No harm, no foul, I guess. But still, it pissed me off because he said, she said that he tested positive on Tuesday, and they didn't fucking get a hold of us until like Friday or Saturday, which really pissed me off. I'm like, are you serious? Like, why the fuck wouldn't you tell us about this right away? You know, so there I am calling people, and it's just ridiculous. It was just a pain in the ass. But I mean, most of us were outside throughout that whole time. It was just my one buddy I was worried about because he stayed the night and everything. But yeah, we made it. We're all good. No coronavirus going through my veins. But it still makes me upset about that. You know, you gotta tell people. You gotta tell people if you fucking have it or you tested positive, and not fucking 3 to 4 days later. I'm talking about like that day. Be like, hey, go get tested just in case. You know, when I called my buddy, he was at work too, and he was like, well, I'm gonna go back here and see what they say, and they sent him home. He couldn't come back until his results got back. Which I don't know if his got his results back or not. I'm not sure. Oh, dude, fucking come on, man. I just got over to get out from behind you. You're being a real asshole right now. I'm gonna pull the plug on this fucking sensor, man. Such horse shit. But, yep, we got all that done. And then we got the neurology appointment. We got to go to the neurology appointment. And my young child is not having seizures. He's just a twitchy boy. Very twitchy boy. So, that's always good. It was bad because, like, they, when they put all, he didn't enjoy any minute of it. They put all those little things all over his head, and then he wrapped it up with, like, gauze and shit and taped it on and went under his chin. It looked like he got fucking, it looked like he had a bad head injury, like he got hit with a fucking cannonball or something like that. But, yeah, they did all that, and everything worked out just fine. So I was happy about that. So we got nothing but good news so far got nothing but good news this week so far. All right, what are you people doing? What are you people doing besides being assholes? Yeah, that dude, you're an asshole, dude. Fucking XTL Trucking Company. You're an asshole. Whoever's driving, fuck you, buddy. You're a real prick. Let me see, I'm passing you here. Let me see if I can look over at you. Let me see if I can look over at you real quick. Who are you? Oh, yep, just some old-ass fucking white guy. Some old dude fucking not giving a shit. Oh, well, this is what I'm doing. I'm setting my ways. Like all you other fucking boomers. Okay, boomer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hello, Mr. State Police. How nice to see you coming up on the side. Luckily for you, I'm just looking in my mirrors like crazy here. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm in front of you. Now I should fucking slow down to fucking 20 miles an hour. Or whatever you were doing, 61 or whatever. My truck only does 63. Come on. Tell me you guys can't just do the speed limit. Fucking A, man. But whatever. But hey, the sun's coming out now. I was going to do this yesterday, but it was so rainy and shitty out. Like, I guess we had that hurricane come through. The, like, 50th hurricane that we've had this year came up the East Coast and came over PA here. And it was just basically just rain. But it was a lot of rain. And I was like, I'm not gonna worry about that right now because there's a lot more to handle now. Oh, fuck. Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't want to fucking be not being able to see anything in the rain and trying to talk to you guys. And I was like, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Yeah, it could be a day late. I don't give a shit. But, yeah, so I decided to do it today and see if we could fucking, see if I could remember all the talking points I was going to have. Yeah, I mean, I remembered the COVID and the neurology test with my son. And I already told you guys about the fence last time. But I still have to do some shit to that yet. Because of all this, I've been cooped up in the house. And it's been a shitty, rainy week, so it is what it is. Fucking, but yeah, I was looking at that hurricane before it came up. It was like Zeta or whatever, or Zeta. I think it was Zeta. That's how you pronounce it. But they're on Z, and I feel like we already had a Z. Like, did they go through the alphabet twice now? I feel like they went through the alphabet twice. So if that's the case, we've had like 52 tropical storms, pretty much, at some point down there coming through. I give it another 50 years, man. I give it another 50 years before the sun just fucking flares up and just burns us to a crisp, or an asteroid comes through and just demolishes us, or we just fucking all suffocate to death because there's so much carbon in the air. I don't know. I don't foresee anything getting any better because nobody's trying to do anything. I mean, it's not like there's any other clean energy alternatives. People are saying, well, get a battery-powered car, Tesla or whatever. I'm like, the electric cars, I don't think do any better. I mean, they got to dig into the ground to get all that lithium and shit out. They're still doing some sort of fracking, I believe. So, I mean, I don't feel like that's much safer. I feel like it's just going to be, I mean, maybe it does do a little bit, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's worse, who knows? But I don't think it's going to be any more detrimental to our planet if we all go to electric cars. I feel like the safest way that we'll be able to go, like the safest energy we could use would probably be like solar power. And nobody wants to do that because it's fucking free. The sun's shining all the fucking time. Well, not all the time, but a lot of the time. And that right there, boom, gets in there, charges it up. You're good to go for a bit. You're always fully charged whenever it's daytime. You know what I mean? They don't want to fucking, there's no money in it. It's not like oil people are like, oh, then how are we supposed to become or keep being trillionaires? Like, you don't. You go down to being a billionaire. Oh, shit. Man, how crazy is that? How crazy is that a lot of you motherfuckers, all your combined wages, come on! All your combined wages could fucking pay off the national debt. And you won't fucking lose a couple $100 billion to get down to, a $500 billion person or whatever. I mean, that's just pathetic. But hey, whatever. That's why I feel like in 50 years, it's over. And I think I said this before. Dude, shut the fuck up! You gotta be kidding me. Like I said before, I feel like it's not gonna be a fun, even if they are living after shit goes, haywire, all them fucking elites, they're gonna be in a little bunker doing nothing. It's gonna be boring as fuck. I mean, or they'll all be dead, honestly, and they're just gonna teach their children to grow up to be fucking shitheads just like them. Just like, hey, just remember, you don't care about anybody but yourself. Yeah, that's right. Take his toys, because they're yours. He doesn't need all those toys, but you need as much as you can get. Fucking assholes. It's so ridiculous. And it's not just us, it's a bunch of fucking, it's everywhere. Countries everywhere. It's all run by these fucking goddamn lizard pedophile people. And then, they're going to get their way whether they like it or not. The government's always going to bully their way in. They're always going to be able to, like just fucking the other day, I had to sign a paper stating that the government is allowed to look into like my driving record and all those records, like if I fail to report an accident or anything like that, or if I did report an accident, I had to sign a paper saying that they are allowed to do that. But the caveat is if I don't sign it, then I'm not allowed to work anymore. I'm like, that's straight bullying right there. That was literally, you just fucking bullied me into doing something because you basically said, hey, let us invade your fucking privacy, but if you don't, then, well, you just lose your means of living. Kiss my fucking ass. I was like, that's fucking, I even said to him, like, what the fuck is this? He's like, yeah, it just gives them the authority to go through whenever they want. Usually they would have to go through you. I'm like, that's bullshit. They would look through it anyway. They would look through it anyway. You think the government gives a shit about my signature? You think they're going to be like, oh, he didn't sign this. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Just do it anyway. You think he's going to know? Fuck no. And if he does know, what is he going to say? He's going to cross the government? No. Fuck no. Fuck, we'll put him in federal prison. He'll rot there till he dies. Fuck him and his family. That's what the government thinks. They don't give a shit. You know, nobody in the government cares about you. And there's too many stupid people out there who think they do. That they're looking out for your best interest. None of them are. None of them. They have their own agenda to attend to, and you're not part of it. You know, so if I'm gonna tell my kids anything, it's go get a government job. Go work in some capacity, work for the government. You know what I mean? That's what I'll tell them. I'll be like, if you're not gonna, fucking go work for the government and fucking, you'll be set. Because they'll fucking, granted, you're not gonna be a politician probably. You don't come from a politician family, so you're not getting in. It's just gonna be the same guys and girls, generation after generation, just fucking running the country. And everyone's fine with that. Everyone seems to be fine with that. The only difference was, I think Trump, when he got elected, he didn't have any political ties, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure he had his hands, or I'm sure some political figures had their hands in his pockets and stuff and all that jazz, but I don't think he really had like he still doesn't have a political bone in his body. I mean, he's been president for 4 years, and so far it's just, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just fucking handing off the hard work to his vice president. You know what I mean? So, like, other than that, and that's why I think a lot of people voted for him. I think that's why he won. Because they're like, oh, it's a regular person. No, he's not a regular person. He's still a billionaire. He's still a businessman. He's not going to fucking, he's not going to run the fucking country like a good leader. He's going to run it like a business. And you know what businesses do? They screw the bottom people. Oh, what's that? Oh, solar. Yeah, they screw the bottom people. They don't fucking, they're not like, oh yeah, we're, equal pay for everybody. No, they go down the ladder. And that bullshit was that trickle down economics. That shit doesn't exist. If you're just a regular guy on the road, you're getting paid the least amount. You know what I mean? You're getting the least of the benefits. You know what I mean? That's what he means by when he's going to run the country like a business. Everyone thinks, oh, he gave me an extra $8. Woo! Cool, $8. You can do so much for that. You can't even buy a pack of cigarettes for that anymore. Fuck. But I digress. So anyway, oh, look at that. They're getting that fucking weigh station almost up and running. This weigh station's been closed down for like a year and a half. And now they got a fucking building on it and everything like that. It looks like an actual weigh station. And I can almost guarantee you that once they fucking put that thing up, it's going to be open like 24 hours a day. I mean, they've been missing out on so much money from, fining truck drivers and shit, and having places for cops to sit. Because it's been under construction this whole time. They're going to have that motherfucker open 24 hours a day so they can fucking just dick people as much as they can. Recoup some of that loss. Because, they have the DOT trucks out every now and then up and down the highway, but that right there, that was the only weigh station on this area, or at least this stretch of road until you get up into New York, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's the only weigh station. There might be one way up north, too, I think, towards Wilkes-Barre, I think. But, yeah, that one's been shut down for a while. It's been nice just being able to cruise right through there. Now I'm going to fucking have to stop in there every goddamn day. Make sure I'm not overweight. And make sure that if they pull me over for inspection, I'm not all fucked up. I don't have some shit wrong with me. So they give me $1,000 fine. That's crazy. They can give you that every fucking day too. Like, literally, you could go up through that same way every single fucking day, and then fucking like have something wrong. Because it's different. Like, I don't have the same truck every day. I don't have the same trailer every day. So I have to fucking, thoroughly pre-trip these things before I leave because it's not the same ones. It's not like I have a truck that I can keep tabs on that no one else is going to drive. It's not how it works. So I fucking, what the fuck? Hold on. Ah, there we go. My fucking ear was itching. Uh, but yeah, I don't have the same truck every day like most people do. So I got to fucking pre-trip the shit out of these trucks. And then same with the trailers. I don't have the same trailer every day either. You know what I mean? So if I go in every day, different truck, different trailer, they can find $1,000 worth of shit on there. And then when I rack up $5,000 in fucking fines every week. And they wonder why nobody wants to become a fucking truck driver. They wonder why nobody wants to become one. All that risk isn't worth the fucking reward. You know what I mean? You get into a wreck, you go to jail. Something happens like that, you go to jail. If you do anything that hurts anybody or kills somebody, you're going right to jail. It doesn't matter if it was your fault or not. You're going to go right to jail until the investigation's up, probably. And not only that, if the only thing that they really won't give you the fine for is for lights and shit. So lights and stuff will work. Or if you have a light that goes out or something, they'll pay that fine. But anything else, you're paying it. You're fucking paying that shit. So I mean, and then you wonder why. Like I just said, you can get $1,000 in fines every goddamn day. And even if you only make, even if you make $5,000 a week, guess what? Boom, all of them are fines. I mean, to me, it's not absurd that nobody wants to drive a truck. It's not absurd. That's probably why they're pushing for the electric trucks right now too, because they can't get anybody to do it, and they don't want to pay anybody well to do it. They just want to scrape by the bare minimum, man. So it's a business. The people on the lower end are always going to get the shittier end of the stick. Shit always fucking runs down. I don't know where that trickle down in economics is quite a lie. I will say that. There's no such thing as trickle down economics. Just pay your people right. I don't give a shit if you're a truck driver, if you work at McDonald's. I mean, you can still do a little bit more than, $9 an hour. All the shit fast food workers got to deal with. Are you kidding me? When I was 14, I worked at a McDonald's for like 6 months. I don't even know if it was that. It was fucking terrible. I worked there for 6 months, and just being at the front counter and shit, because I couldn't go back and cook the food. I had to actually deal with people, and I did not like it. And then my manager was a cunt too, and I was just like, fuck this. It was the worst. I just remember I went in there the one day when I was supposed to be there, and I ordered food, and they're like, are you coming in? I'm like, no, I'm not coming in. I fucking quit. Now make me my fucking McChicken sandwich. It was like, and I became one of them shit people at that moment. But, oh yeah, I dealt with some of the shittiest people. I had to work the breakfast lunch, or the breakfast and the lunch rush. So I'd be there on Saturdays and Sundays from 8 to 4. So at 8 a.m., we're doing breakfast. 7, I think. Maybe it was 7. But either way, the rush would start around 8:30. That's when everybody would start coming in, ordering breakfast. And then come 10:30, there's still a line of people in front of me, a huge line of people. And I'd have to be like, I'm sorry, sir, we're not serving breakfast right now. And he's like, it's what the fuck I've been waiting for this whole time. And then the manager has to come out and get fucking ignorant. It was just a pain in the ass. Which is why I'm glad they started doing, it's probably a good thing they started doing that breakfast all day shit, because that, there was a lot of times where we were actually serving breakfast after, 10:30 easily, because there was a line full of people in there, and they were fucking, wanting breakfast, and we weren't fast enough. It was ridiculous. I hated it. I hated working there so much. We had one lady come in at 11:30, and she was She was rather large. She was definitely 3 or 4 bills, and she had like her speech was slurred. She's just like, "You guys have the McGriddles," and we're like, "The McGriddles?" She's like, "Yeah, the bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles," and we're like, "Sorry, man, we stopped serving breakfast at 10:30," and she threw a fucking fit. She stormed out. She's like, "You're just like all the other McDonald's," and we're like, "Yeah, we all come at the same time." He's like, "Fuck this place! I'm never coming here again," and we're like, cool. Like, you'll thank us tomorrow, lady. Like, that bitch was probably one cheeseburger away from a heart attack. Like, it was just pathetic dealing with some of the people. You know, there was one a couple cities away. This dude fucked up the McDonald's fucked up this Big Mac. He came through the drive-thru with a fucking 9mm and was gonna shoot people for it over a fucking cheeseburger, man. Like, when you go to McDonald's, that's where you see like that's where you see the real trash around, and not like the drive-through. I'm talking about like the people that actually come inside. You know, there's some garbage people, man. Just straight up white trash. And I'm so glad I don't work there anymore. But then I went from there, and I started working at another restaurant, which I didn't hate it. I hated doing the work there. I hated cooking for the people because the people were all shitty people too. All the people that came in were just a bunch of like snooty people. Yeah, I remember like working the salad bar the one day, and like this lady comes up and she like grabs the tongs and is like flicking around the broccoli and flicking around like the lettuce. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna need to be changed. That's also gonna need to be changed." Like, dude, I just put this shit out here. Fuck you. You know, just I don't know, just the worst people ever. The people I worked with were great. Some of them were fucking scumbags, but other than that, like I worked there for fucking way too long too. Like I worked there for way too long, longer than I should have. You know, I probably should have fucking left that place when I was like 20 maybe, and I didn't leave there till I was like 22 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I worked there from the time I was 15 till I was 22, and I should have left like fucking 2 years or 3 years early. I should have left at like 19 or 18 and tried to find a job somewhere else at least. But there was some other shit that was going on that I won't quite get into, and it kind of kept me from going anywhere for the moment. But yeah, so I kind of thought I was going to work there forever, but luckily I found these next job I went to, and then the moving company, and then I fucking came here and started being a truck driver, which is by far the best job I've had. I mean, well, no, my last job was the best job. So I basically got paid to work out for like 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, but I wasn't getting paid very well. You know, so that's why I came here. So this is the best paying job I've had. The second best job I've ever had, but the best paying job ever. And yeah, like I said, I think I always say like my biggest check here is that I've ever had here is more than double the biggest check I've ever had at any other job I've worked. So it just goes to show you how far up I've come there. But I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to do this job. I don't blame anybody. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's better than working at fucking McDougal's or fucking any kind of restaurant business. I don't. You have to be a special kind of person to enjoy working at a restaurant business. I have people that I'm friends with who work in the restaurant business and they love it. They love it. You know, they like the fast-paced, you know, environment. They like cooking people food. They take pride in that shit, which is cool. And I mean, I did. I took pride in it too when I would work in there and I would like cook a steak or something like that, and then they'd come back and be like, "Oh, it was the best steak ever." Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, sweet." You know, it made you feel good, but for every one of those times, there was like 20 where somebody was being a dick. Like we literally had people come to the back when we were super busy. They would come in the kitchen and be like, "Where's my fucking cheeseburger?" And we're like, "Dude, we're getting to it. Do you think you see all the people out there? Do you think you're the only fucking person in that goddamn dining room? Get your fucking ass out there now. Think you're so fucking, you ain't special. Get the fuck out." I can't stand it. I couldn't stand it. But hey, if you can work there, more power to you. I mean, there's some people who are professional chefs, and they got to work in that environment. I'm like, I don't know about all that. If I were to ever go back to cooking again, I would go and cook at like the hospital or something like that. Because the hospital up there where all my children were born. They have this fucking restaurant like thing up top. It's just like a little kitchen. It's not nothing big. But man, that guy that was cooking there the last my during my second child, fucking he was awesome. That guy made shit all. He was super nice too. He was really fucking nice. I went up there. We were there for 3 or 4 days or whatever. I just kept going up there just so I could see him. I'm just like, hey man, let me get one of these things. You fucking make banging food, dude. You are phenomenal at your fucking job. I mean? He's probably, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I'm like, And the other guy that was on there was really good too. And there was a lady who was really good too. So I mean, it's probably nowhere near as fast paced as a restaurant. They're just cooking for like the doctors and stuff like that. Everything's pretty quick, but if I ever had to do that, that's probably what I'd do. If I ever had to go back to cooking. Or working in a restaurant of some sort, I'd probably go to there. Because they make decent money. Nothing outrageous, but I think they make like 17 or 18 bucks an hour. You know what I mean? So if I had to fucking go there, it's probably what I'd do. But I mean, obviously if I lost my job here, there's plenty of other places I could drive a truck at. That's that's not an issue finding a job doing that. But if I couldn't drive a truck, I don't know. I might even just go back to the moving company even. I may even go back to that. Be a fucking huge ass pay cut, but I don't know what I would do, man. I never thought about this. I just had like a little epiphany here while I'm talking to you guys. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have a backup plan if I'm not able to drive. I mean, I guess I'd go work on the dock where I work now, but I'm thinking if like just I couldn't work there at all. I mean, and I had basically if I couldn't work there at all and I couldn't go somewhere else to drive, I mean, I guess I could go, other areas to, be a forklift operator, I guess, but that's fucking garbage too. That's a long ass day, man. To fucking be driving back and forth all around a dock for, however many hours, 8, 10, 12 hours. That's a lot of fucking time, man. That's, believe it or not, that is definitely a long day. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is something I now have to think about. I now have to think about this, you guys. And it's all because I just started talking about it. I'm going to go home and think. And it's not like if, say this podcast became successful or something, I wouldn't be able to, like, keep doing it because the whole premise of this is me driving a truck talking shit. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see I don't know. Let's see what happens. Might have to go work at Amazon or something like that. Ugh. Even though I hear they're a lot better now. But, I don't know. Maybe something I need to put some thought into now, I guess. But I'm definitely not going back to fucking cooking. I can't do that. I can't cook anymore. Too many stuck-up people. And I don't want to deal with all that. I'd like to do something where I don't have to deal with people at all. I don't know. I would probably. What I think I would do, honestly, is I would fucking, like, sell my house. Just to, like, try and get out of any debt that I had. And I would just work, like, a side job, and I would just go to college, go to school for something. Even though I'm in my fucking 30s, I would just go to school for something. Me and my wife. We both go back to school for something. Just do something like, I don't know. Just something that I could do, some kind of trade, and then whatever she wanted to do, just so we'd have degrees of some sort that we just have to start the fuck back over, pretty much. That's literally what we'd have to do. I mean, if I was exhausted of all options, yeah, it's probably what I'd have to do. Yeah, that was a quick little brainstorm right there. Figured it out. Figured it out. Sold my house, moved back in with my parents. Yeah. Well, hopefully none of that has to happen. I mean, the government owns part of our company here, so I don't think they'll let it go out of business for any reason. At least not that I know of. They'll just continue to use us for their own stuff. It's like, yes, I need you to drive all these explosives down to fucking Maryland there. Go to Quantico and deliver all these explosives. And then come back with a fucking trailer full of uranium. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I'd do it, though. If they asked me to do it, I'm like, are you paying me? How well are you paying me here? Like, oh, we gonna pay you. I'm like, all right, then I'm doing it. I don't give a shit. What's in the back of this trailer? Bodies? I don't give a fuck. Give me my money. Give me my motherfucking money. You know, so yeah, hopefully all works out with that. But I don't know, you never know, man. You never know. You need to have contingency plans sometimes. And I do not have any. Sometimes I do wish I planned out my life a little bit better. I mean, what's the fun in that, honestly? You know, you go through life just fucking doing what everybody wants you to do, and then you're fucking 40 years old, you have a midlife goddamn crisis. I don't think I'm going to have that. I don't believe I'm going to have a midlife crisis because I did everything I wanted to do as a kid and and someone in my early 20s, which is when you're supposed to. You're supposed to kind of fuck up a little bit. Now, maybe not to the extent that maybe I did, or even worse, some other people I may know, but that's the time when you're supposed to screw up. That's the time when if you go to jail or you get arrested or whatever, then they don't throw the book at you, or supposed to not throw the book at you because you're a dumb kid still. You know what I mean? So, do I wish I would have planned it out a little bit? Yes, but would I change it at the chance that I might snap out of my fucking mind when I'm, you know, fucking 40, 45 or whatever, and then go buy a goddamn sports car and then wreck it into the side of a fucking bridge? No, I don't think I would. No, I wouldn't. If I were to change anything, it would have been like my career path, because my issue was I didn't know anything. I didn't know at all what I was going to do. I didn't know a goddamn thing what I wanted to do. Nothing interested me except for smoking weed and playing video games. Just literally that's what I did from the time I was like 18 to like 20 or even 21 maybe till I go out to the bar. I didn't want to do anything but sit around, smoke pot, you know, play video games. I did other shit. I went out, hung out with friends and shit, but I was probably smoking weed or playing video games with them. And I did I went to the gym too. Like, I started going to the gym after high school because I was sick of being fat. But I didn't really do much of anything else. I didn't fix shit. I didn't learn how to do anything else really. I mean, besides cook food, which, I mean, that's a basic skill. Everybody should know how to cook food. If you don't know how to cook food, well, you're fucking dumb. You failed. You need to go back and fucking learn to cook food. Because, if you plan on even living by yourself, you don't even have to have a family. You living by yourself, you still need to learn how to cook food unless you're going to order pizza every goddamn day or fucking just eat Hot Pockets and fucking live off cereal, which I did. I did live off cereal for a while, but I can't eat that cereal anymore now. The only cereal I can really eat right now is like fucking Cinnamon Life. That's about the only cereal I can eat because it's not super loaded with sugar, but it still has a bunch of sugar in it, and my bowls of cereal aren't no fucking weak-ass shit you give your 4-year-old. But I would think, like, I probably would have went to school. I probably would have went to college. I mean, if I was smart about it, my grandfather was going to pay for it, but I was too busy not giving a fuck about anything. I should have went to school. I should have learned a trade of some sort. That would have helped me out immensely. But now, here I am, as a fucking homeowner, now learning how to do shit on the fly, kind of. Like, I learned how to, replace pipes that, break in my, for my plumbing and shit like that. Figured out how to do shit with my car. Now these are granted this is like through the past couple years. I've been changing my own oil since I was, in my early 20s. But, I never knew how to replace spark plugs until, up until, these past couple years, never knew how to replace spark plugs. Never knew how to do brakes. I never knew how to change my fucking serpentine belt. You know, the only thing I could do was, change a tire, change oil, and change my battery when it came to my car. But that when it comes to a house, I know how to do shit. Now I know how to do a good bit of plumbing, surprisingly. I know how to do a decent amount of plumbing now because plumbing is atrocious in my fucking house. So I know how to replace pipes and, you know, things like that. Uh, Replace lines and shit like that. I know how to replace a toilet now because I had to fix my toilet. I had to fucking get a whole new one because that one was all fucking disgusting. But, I know how to do that now. I know how to, I know how to put floor. I know how to hang drywall. I'm not exactly the best at finishing it, but I know how to hang it. I know how to do a little bit of flooring. Things like that. Um, the only electrical work I know how to do is to replace like a light switch. Other than that, or maybe a socket. I can do that, but other than that, I don't know anything about electric. That shit scares the fuck out of me. But I wish I would have. I wish I would have not been a moron and fucking, like I said, went and learned a trade because I'm thinking about doing welding or HVAC or something like that. You know, that's another one. I don't know how to do any HVAC work because I know how to replace the filter in my fucking. I know how to replace the filter on my intake. That's about it. Other than that, I don't know anything about HVAC. Welding. I mean, it's been a fucking while. I might be able to do oxyacetylene still, or maybe some tack welding. I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't know how to set it all up. I don't remember fucking how I have to turn shit on, but I do wish I would have done something like that, but at the same time, I'm a little glad that I didn't, but mainly just because I still would have gotten in the same trouble I would have, and I don't know if I would have fucking, who knows if any of my shitty antics that I did in high school, if any of that got brought over into college, well, let's be honest, it would have been really college. It would have been like just a technical institute or something. But anyway, if I would have done any of the shit I did in high school, did that in college, they'd have kicked my ass out or something. And then what? I would have paid them a bunch of money to not leave with any kind of certification or any kind of degree. So I mean, it's a hard sell, man. It's a hard thing to look back and be like, oh, I should have done this. I mean, should have I? I mean, yes, I probably would have done something just because then I wouldn't be driving a truck. You know what I mean? Which, again, it's not a bad job. It's a respectable job. It pays well. But I could have done something, you know, more in tune with the kind of person I was. And I didn't think anything like that when I was a teenager. I think about this now, like, I was so into video games, I could have done something in, like, something with, like, video game design or even, like, even, like, some kind of graphical development, something like that. I could have done something that I actually liked doing, or I could have fucking went out to fucking Oaksterdam. Yeah, I think that's what they call it. I think that's what they call it when they had that college in Oakland and they called it Oaksterdam, where you learned how to grow weed, where you learned how to grow weed and fucking, I don't know. A buddy of mine I went to school with, that's what he did. He went out there and he was a courier. He drove a little crotch rocket around and delivered people their medicine. I wish I would have thought like that back then, but here I am. You know, And that's just after like high school and shit like that. Anything like after like the age of 23, I probably wouldn't have changed around too much. They were good. They were pretty good experiences I had from like 23 to now. I mean, now I have fucking 3 kids now, so that's I wouldn't change that for the world. Granted, it's a little hectic now because they are so all pretty close together. Whoa. they are all pretty close together, 4, 1, and 3. So, or 3 months. So I mean, it's not like they'll all grow up together. It'll all be a big cluster thing, which financially is gonna fucking hurt. The wife is gonna have to get a job at some point, down the road whenever they start getting into like middle school and shit like that. And once they're up there in age more, she's gonna have to do something because I'm not gonna be able to go fucking clothes shopping. Are you serious? Going clothes shopping every year for 3 kids? That's I guess that's not super expensive. It's probably a grand or two, depending on what kind of shit they get too. I'm sure I don't want them to look like fucking losers, look like a bunch of scrubs. You know what I mean? So I would probably whatever's in style. I guess I wouldn't have to buy them that, but I wouldn't want them to get like stuff that's gonna get them made fun of, which kids pretty much fucking anything now. But at the same time, we don't fucking know if school's gonna be a thing. Might be homeschooling these children, but there will be some hand-me-downs. I'll tell you that much. But just it's not even a financial thing. It's just like, oh, I could have done this, should have done that. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But can't really look to the past. Can't look into the past, even though I'm doing it right now. Even though I'm fucking reminiscing. I'm thinking of myself right now as an 18-year-old kid with my fucking grandfather's wife waiting for me to tell her what I wanted to go to school for, and then me just ignoring her. Oh, no, God damn, I was such a dick. But yeah, I don't know. I think I did pretty well in the end game. So not as well as others. I don't really care about others and their achievements. Well, can't say that. I do give a shit about like my family and my friends. I like to see them all succeed. I like to see everybody succeed. But I mean, as far as people that I used to go to school with, if they're doing good for them. I don't care. It's not my issue. My issue, I worry about me and me and my fucking family. You know what I mean? That's what I need to worry about. If you're doing good for you. Happy for you. But I don't know. I think I turned out pretty okay. Pretty okay. Yeah, my parents are proud. That's good enough for me. I mean, then again, it didn't take much for my dad to be proud. He just wanted me to graduate high school. Because he was a high school dropout, so he was like, I just want you to graduate. I'm like, okay. I did it, and he's like, all right, you're good. Now just don't be a piece of shit. Graduate high school and don't be a piece of shit. It was kind of the same thing with my mom, too. I think she was just like, graduate high school. If you go to college, whatever. If you don't, whatever. Just don't be a piece of shit. And I don't think I turned out to be a piece of shit. So far, so good. Some of my family members may not think that, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I mean, there's literally just a small portion of my family that I really talk to. I mean, and they're the ones I worry about. They're the ones that, they're the ones whose futures and shit I give a shit about. They're the ones whose success I really care about. Everybody else, they're doing just fine. I'm sure of it. But I don't know. We'll fucking see. Man, this thing is revving up. I only have fucking 20 grand on this. Why is this fucking bogging out? Oh, whatever. Better turn my lights on because I'm in the Amish country. I don't want to fucking hit no horse and buggies. But yeah, I fucking, yeah, now another thing, my cousin went to school. He went to, college, or, well, I mean, I guess, what do you call it, like a trade school or whatever. Not even a trade. He went to be a massage therapist, and he doesn't do anything with that now. He redid it for a little bit, and then that was it. Now he's in marketing. You know what I mean? So like he fucking shifted, man. Like he was like, that was something I was a little bit nervous of. What if I do this and I really don't like it? You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what I liked. But now my other cousin, he's doing his music thing, which is going very well for him now. And my youngest cousin here is on his way to college. He's actually doing like construction work right now with one of my other cousin's friends, which is really cool. So he's learned how to do shit. Um, yeah, everybody's doing well. My sister's going to fucking college right now for fucking business management. She's gonna fucking be somebody's boss. I can tell you that. And then I don't have to worry about like her husband because fucking he knows how to do everything. He can fix everything and anything. If something's broken, he can fix it. It's wild. That's the man I strive to be. Someone who can just fix stuff, or at least attempt to fix it. You know, but I do something that nobody else in my family does. Nobody in my family can drive a truck. Nobody in my family has a commercial driver's license. So I'm pretty special, just like all the others, just like everybody else, and and that's just fine with me. That's just fine with me. I want food on the plates, and I want roofs over the heads, and as long as I'm doing that, I'm all right. As long as I'm doing that, I'm just fine. But I do think back sometimes. I do wonder what the fuck was my problem, and I know what my problem was. I was a fucking dickhead. I was smoking weed all the time. I didn't care. You gotta care. You gotta care. Now I care. I mean, I cared, years ago, but now I really have to care. I really have to care now. I can't just be like, nope, I'm done. Can't do that. If it was just me, I already explained this. I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd still be fucking driving a forklift around. And I'd be just fine with that. I'd still be making decent money, but I don't know. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that I think that I had my kids, because otherwise, I was still partying pretty hard as far as like, not really like hard drugs, but like, or not even drinking really. But I knew I was smoking weed every day. I was just a stoner, and I didn't really go out and do much. I didn't really go and establish much credit, especially considering I fucked it up with my first apartment. So then when that happened, I really had to be a big boy, and now I have credit limits. Now I have a credit score. I got shit. So, so if I were to give anybody advice, it'd be figure it out, and figure it out quick, because as much as it sucks to tell a fucking kid who just did 13 years of school, getting out of his senior year, all right, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Because now you need to do another 4 years of school, or another fucking 2 years in a trade or something like that. Like, figure it out, man. When you're doing stuff in high school, figure out what you like. And I don't mean fucking smoking weed, because not everybody's going to get a job just, sitting around blazing blunts all day. But, but some people do. I mean, there's a guy I went to school with who's fucking up. He runs like a grow, not a, I guess like a grow op or whatever for like medicinal marijuana. So he's trimming fucking weed all day. And good for him. But it's not going to happen to everybody. Be a little bit more realistic. And that didn't happen until, just recently, because, I mean, it wasn't, medical marijuana didn't really fucking blow up like it did within the past couple of years. So, always think about your options. Always think about what you like to do, because, that fucking cliche saying, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, it's kind of hard to figure that out when you don't put any thought into it, especially as a teenager. Unless your parents were just like mashing grades into your fucking skull. Like, that better not be an A minus. And it's a fucking B plus, and they just start slapping the shit out of you. But, because, I mean, there was people that I went to school with that were like that, too. They were upset they got like a B plus or a B minus. It wasn't a lot of people, but a good bit, were like that. And, they'd go home, and the one girl said, yeah, if I get anything less than an A, I go home, my parents will make me sit down and write sentences. And I'm like, holy fuck, I had to write sentences when I was a kid, too. I mean, I'm like, I have to do that too, but it's usually for me doing bad shit, not because I got a fucking B plus. If I got a B plus, parents would be like, all right, good job. You know what I mean? Like, instead I was bringing home fucking D pluses and C minuses a lot. There were some B's in there, a few A's, not many. Not many A's in there. But yeah, that's a little weird, and I feel like that girl is gonna have a midlife crisis. I feel like that girl is gonna hit like 45 and be like, all I've done was study, spend all my fucking life and time at fucking school, and then I went right into work, and yeah, I make all this money, but what's it for? Then she'll be like, well, that nice new fucking Corvette Z71 ba-ba-da-ba-bow looks really nice, and then she'll go buy that, and then fucking, you know, I don't know, man. It's wild. But then, there were some people that were kind of like, it was almost like the opposite, like the fucking valedictorian of not my class, but the class before me was a fucking, my cousin sold weed to her. You know what I mean? The valedictorian. So, like, it's not like, it all depends on who you are, I guess. It all depends on how you take life and how you fucking, how you can approach everything, because I know I was smoking weed every day, and I sure as hell wasn't the valedictorian, but I also wasn't getting, fucking karate chopped every time I brought home a D plus or a C minus, like some of these kids. I mean, I could see, like this girl, I could almost see, like, not the fear in her eyes, but like when she looked at the test when we got him back, it was a B plus, and I'm like, well, I got a C plus. Like, I'm a whole grade below you there. I did way worse than you. And she's like, yeah, my parents are really mad, and like, I don't know if her parents were like both doctors and they were just trying to push her to, be good, get a good education, which is cool. Always push your kids to get a good education, but don't punish them for getting a bad grade. I mean, unless it's like a consistent thing like it was with me. I was grounded a lot for not doing my work, but I don't know. Just basically just don't be a piece of shit. Don't grow up to be a piece of shit. That's all anybody's asking anymore. So with that, I will leave you on that little words of wisdom, and hopefully somebody or all of you will take that advice. I know I didn't. I mean, at least not until my mid-20s, I believe. So, but if you're a kid listening to it, figure it out. That's all I can really say. Figure it out, because it's only going to get harder now. It was hard whenever I was a kid. It's going to get harder now with these kids. So I would just not think too deep into it, but figure it out. That's the only thing I can tell you. But I'm going to get off here because now I'm just rambling. I keep saying the same thing over and fucking over again. It's because I'm on these windy back hills. But, okay, be good. I will see you next time. And don't be a fucking asshole.